Hello everyone, today we're going to learn the daily Tanya for Tez Zayin Sivan Tafshin Pei Daled. So yesterday we kind of got into a little bit more Kabbalistic terminology. We sort of explained what these sort of Kabbalistic terms that refer to these philosophical concepts that we were discussing about Hashem's contraction, Hashem's ability to disguise his life-giving force, but to also bestow. And we're going to continue speaking about these things in Parakeh, chapter 5. Okay, so about what we said earlier, Chazal said, "Batchala Allah b'machshava livro et haolam b'midat hadin." Right, so there's a medrash that says that in the beginning Hashem wanted to create the world. Um, he wanted to create it perfect in the sense that it didn't need. He wanted to create a a fully sort of perfect world, if you will, a world that can withstand, let's say, ultimate rigor. Okay, that's sort of what we mean when we say a perfect world. So Hashem saw that the world cannot exist under this state of rigor. He sort of brought into it, he partnered it, tempered it with rachamim, with mercy or chesed. And this rachamim, this mercy is dehainu hidgalut elokut al yedei tzadikim ve'otot umoftim shebatorah, right? So there's this sort of world of nature, the world of rigor that operates according to rules, and what you could say Hashem quote unquote wanted to create a world where the laws of nature would be in perfect harmony, and everything would naturally be in harmony with God's will and design. But he saw that things were not going that way. So he um, revealed himself through the tzaddikim, the righteous, and through the miracles. V'hinar zamru, and about this they said, b'zohar del ela, right, in the Zohar passage we quoted above, b'sitra de kedusha ilaha, on the side of kedusha, on the side of holiness, it yamina ve'it smola. Okay, so we're going to get into Kabbalistic concepts a little bit here. There's this idea that there is not quite dualistic, but semi-dualistic understanding that there are two sort of main sources where things can draw life from, can draw their existence. They can draw their existence either from the side of holiness, which is the explicit revelation of God, or the side of profanity or profaneness. And this is sort of that which denies God's existence. We could get into, this denial in the end ends up, of course, affirming God's existence in the end, but at least in the way that we live in the world, it's a denial of God. So on the side of holiness, there is a left hand and a right hand. Dahainu chesed ugvura, right? Which is to say, chesed, which is this bestowing, and gvura, which is the rigor, the sort of pulling back. Perush deshteen hen midot elokut lemala misachal hanivraim. Okay, which is to say, so Baal Tanya explains that these two traits are divine. They are of God, and they are above the understanding of mortal beings. Because Hashem and his again sort of quote unquote parts, right, which is to say his traits are one in the world of Atzilus. And we're just clarifying another point here, that even the prophecy of Moshe Rabbeinu alav shalom benevuato, okay, so the prophecy of Moshe Rabbeinu lo hayta be'olam hatzilut, he wasn't observing the world of Atzilus directly. He wasn't present in the world of Atzilus in his prophecy. Ela al yidei hitlabshuto be'olam habriya. Okay, so he received knowledge from Olam Hatzilis, from the world of Atzilis, the world of unity, through Olam Abriya, which makes sense. There has to be, but there has to be some sort of mediation between God's unity and Moshe Rabbeinu. So there has to be this creation. So, in this sense, you can understand that there was a creation Right. So there's a question, right? A philosophical and theological question. Okay, if God is transcendent, then when He reveals Himself, is that Him or is that a creation? So the answer is it is a creation through which He is revealing His intention. And even in the case of Moshe Rabbeinu, um, which is the highest prophecy which man has ever come to, uh, you have a revelation through some sort of creation, but it's very, very sort of subtle and what do you say, sort of a clear glass, right? Like there's still a glass there, but it's a clear glass. ואף גם זאת, and even so, לא בשתי מידות אלו, חסד וגבורה, אלא על ידי התלבשותן במידות שלמטה מהן במדרגה, שהן מידות נצח הוד יסוד. Okay, so this is a little bit more Kabbalistic terminology. So Hashem, when He revealed Himself to Moshe Rabbeinu, even when He revealed Himself to Moshe Rabbeinu, um, He reveals Olam Atzilas, which is the world where Hashem and His traits are fully one, um, and He sort of creates this clear glass. But even this clear glass, even in this clear glass, Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't observe directly Hashem's Chesed or Hashem's Gvura, Hashem's creation ex nihilo, and Hashem's sort of pulling back, and like that wouldn't make sense because those are the very processes of creation itself, and those can't properly be mediated to a mortal being, even through a glass, right? They're sort of the process of creation itself. That kind of makes sense. Um, but what he did see was through Netzach Hod and Yesod, sort of. Um, Netzach is the kind of overcoming, right? Is the beat of overcoming. It's kind of the overcoming of the overcoming of rigor, and Hod is the sort of awe at sort of Hashem's Chesed, Hashem's created um, works, and Hashem's own greatness. So and Yesod is the ability to balance those things into what we might call virtue. Okay, כמו שכתוב בשער הנבואה, right? It's all this is written in שער הנבואה according to the Arizal. רק שמתן שכרם של צדיקים בגן עדן, okay, but the reward for the righteous, for the tzaddikim in Gan Eden, hu hasagat התפשטות החיות, okay, is the understanding of the life force and sort of the receiving of this sort of bountiful life force, ואור, and the light הנמשך משני מידות אלו חסד וגבורה. Okay, so this cannot be done within a mortal body. It is only something that can be done when one shuffles off their mortal coil. והוא מזון נשמות הצדיקים שעסקו בתורה לשמה בעולם הזה. Okay, and this is these things are that which nourish the souls of the tzaddikim, the neshamas of the tzaddikim, who learn Torah in this world completely for its own sake. And it's something we've been discussing and developing already for months. What does it mean lishma? What does it mean to have kavana? What does it mean to fully learn Torah for its own sake? Ba'olam hazeh. Because from the sort of extension of these two traits of again of Hashem's bestowal and Hashem's also pulling back to allow created beings to exist. Okay, so this, so to speak, creates a sort of heavenly firmament above the neshamas in Gan Eden. And this firmament is called the secret of the Torah. And in it is the secret of the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Which is given from Chesed Ugvura, כדכתיב מימינו, as it is written, from his right hand, Esh Dat Lamo, right? From his right hand was given the fire of the teaching. And from this firmament, it is described in the Zohar that a sort of dewy liquid descends to feed the neshamas. Dehainu, and okay, so he's going to explain a little bit what this means. Dehainu, and what does this do? Dehainu yediat sod kavbet otiyot haTorah. Okay, so what he means by this is the understanding of the secret of the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet of the Torah. Because this firmament, which is again which is created by the joining together of chesed and gvura, the sort of balance between the Hashem's bestowing and Hashem's pulling back, right? It's a sort of transcendence of them two by them joining together. Hu Sod Hadat, it is the secret of knowledge. Capital K, maybe even with a G, for those of you who know what that means. והתורה היא מזון הנשמות בגן עדן, and the Torah is the nourishment of the neshamas in Gan Eden, in heaven, or in paradise. והמצוות, and the mitzvahs, and the fulfillment of the commandments, hin levushim. These are the garments, so to speak, or the sort of expressions, or the sort of vessels for the neshamas in heaven. As all this has, of course, been discussed before. He gives all these sources. And so that's all for today. Take care. See you tomorrow.